Hi guys, good morning. Today's the 31st, so it's end of May, and let's take a look again at US30. We took a trade yesterday, which was a live trade, and we lost the trade. It was a bummer because I was really confident that price is going to go up, but it did not. So I lost about just as per my stop loss. Really, I'll tell you guys what it was. So it was close to 600. I think there was a bit of slippage. So I put it to 580 and 58 stop loss, and it did go took me out a little bit more than what I thought what I set it to. So it was $614. So it's 0.6% loss yesterday. So yeah, as you can see, the trade just melted down. Well, to be really honest, you see, when we took the trade, it was an uptrend, to be honest, and I did feel like there was a lot of liquidity to be grabbed. But eventually, price would go up. The question is when. I'm not sure. Price would go up, right? So okay, so that's that for the trade. So we are in total up in the 100K challenge account 2.27% overall. Okay, so I am probably going to stay away from the charts today just because I think I've had two losses on this account back to back using that trade. Now, I did change my indicators because I was using my live account yesterday. So I am actually going to remove this because I did take a sell using my pin bars. So personally, we have traded this for quite some time right now. We're using the whole suite and the half trend. Personally, not really my favorite, guys, just because I mean, it's like you can't trade every signal that prints. At the end of the day, it comes back to your technical analysis. It comes back to your knowledge in the market and the pair that you're trading or whatever you're trading. And so I still feel like for me personally, I do like the fact that, trading with the trend and understanding smart money concepts as well as using the pin bars. Like, I love that strategy just because when it moves, you get a smooth move most often than not. So that's just my go-to, to be honest. But let's just keep at this and see where we get with this, okay? So I am going to off my indicators. Okay, I'm just gonna keep the house suite on. If you guys haven't been using MACD, like that's a great one as well. But even then, it's yeah. So what it does is that whenever there's a crossover, you can see price moves in a particular direction that it crossed. So if you can see it crossed here, we had an up move, and usually it crosses way before the signal prints. So you kind of like get a heads up, if that makes sense. But having said that, normally when that crossover happens, it's time for the next move already. And then by the time the signal prints, so I'm a bit like, isn't this a bit too late? But when it prints right, it prints right and you get a good move. If you get stuck in trades like that, like this is not going to give you your even a 1.5. Typically, I like to aim for 1 is to 2. So, but for this purpose of this, half trend, I used 1.5 and I'm like, it's hard sometimes, because it prints pretty late. And I've also changed the settings to the normal one, which is the standard settings. If you put it higher, again, it prints lesser, but it prints it a lot more later. So you would have missed the earlier move, is what I've noticed. So you can't really set it higher either. So yeah, that's what it is. I'm gonna just shift this back to 55. Yeah, do you know what? It doesn't really make a difference. Like this print stays the same anyway. So I'm like, oops, I feel like for this, for half trade, 180 is great just because it it kind of filters out signals which should not even be there. You see, like this, you would not have taken this trade, to be really honest, because it was below the half trend. So you wouldn't even have entered it. Whereas if it was 55, you would have gone in because it was below, if you guys noticed just now. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it as that. I'm just gonna close this MACD as well. Now let's just take a clean look at the charts. I am gonna delete this. and I'm gonna delete. I'm actually okay. Do you know what? I'm actually going to see how much drawings I have. I just need a clean chart view. Remove three, not much. Okay, so we have a clean chart view right now, okay? And I'm going to start with dailies. Let's see where the dailies are right now and what the daily is doing. Okay, so gonna make this a bit smaller. Now, just looking at through smart money concept, guys, okay, which I think you kind of we really need to understand that where liquidity is and where price would come for liquidities. Okay. All right, so we had a structure break here. It took out liquidity. So I'm going to try and see if I can find there's this thing called a curve thing. Yeah, I don't know where that is, to be honest. Just thought it might be easier. Or is it a draw tool? Like, oh my God. I actually need to, is it a curve? It could be this. I don't know. Anyway, uh, so like if you guys can see price, this was forming up. And you can see price here. Yeah, okay. Here, and then it went up and it came back down and it equalized here, if you guys can see this. Okay. And then it went up. This is on a daily, guys. It went up a little bit, did a small retracement, did not take any liquidity at the top side yet. It came full on because this would have been a stop loss for a lot of people who went on a buy because of the equalizer there. And it came right back down and it took liquidity down here. And if you can see, it came down a few times, retested the zone, went right back up. So this was again a structure break, and this was all the top liquidity, which I feel still has not been taken out enough, to be honest. Do you guys see that? So this was top point, came out, took liquidity, dropped, and then it formed the next high, and then this was like a step, like an equalizer kind of a thing. Let me just say, I can't see this light. Yeah, okay. So you guys can see it. This was like, where's that? Oh, okay. My bad. What am I doing with this tool, honestly, guys? Okay. It's just me trying to get my head around this myself. So if you guys can see this, this was a structure, like a liquidity sweep here. Oh my God, I'm drawing it the wrong way. Okay. This is not great. Oops. Please don't be kind to me in the comments. I know today's video is a bit like not really nice. So there was a liquidity sweep here. Let's just look at it. Can you see the break? And then it came out, swept top liquidity to this highs, and then it dropped. Okay, and then it formed this equal. It went up. This was a support resistance line. You can see this is where price tested many times. There was a zone, touched it, dropped, took out liquidity, went right back up here, haven't swept it. So this was the previous high that it made. So this high here, and this one was liquidity. I don't know what happened to my voice there, but anyway, this one was a liquidity, small one. It came right down. This was a okay. Does it sound confusing to you guys? Do you know what it is? I think for me, I'm better at just seeing things for myself rather than explaining. So I kind of see things and I forget that I'm actually recording a video. So you guys can see this. It came here, touched it, broke this, okay, and then it went back up again, came down to the same equalizer, and then decided to come down, sweep this liquidity, okay. But having said that, guys, I am actually seeing a trend line here. I just feel like price right now is just, I don't know, it's not in a trend and I don't really like it. Okay, there we go. We have a nice, beautiful trend line. So honestly, unless it breaks the trend line, I do see price going up just because that is a whole lot. Like you can see liquidity is to be swept here, here, you know, yeah, like there's a whole, like, okay, it hasn't swept the previous high, let's put it this way. So I do think price could come all the way. Actually, I'm just going to stick to this too. Price could come to sweep this. I'm not even finding this funny. Like, so am I supposed to draw it this way? Okay, there we go. Doesn't look the best, but this one. Do you guys see that? Okay, so I really do think so. It came up and it broke and it took liquidity here. I do believe price is going to go up. Okay, but this is an FP week, so we really have to be just careful because such is the market is quite unpredictable. Okay, you might do a massive sweep down. It might just break the trend line, to be honest, guys. So I am somehow, even though it's still a bearish momentum, I am kind of bullish overall, if that makes sense. Okay, I am actually going to just delete whatever I've. Okay, let's just see if I can do it this way. Let's just get rid of all of this just because it's very messy. Okay, so just based on this, this is a very strong support resistance line. Price was tethered here. It came down, grabbed the liquidity, and it might actually push up or it might break and go down. Okay, so I do feel price is at a very, very like a crucial area, and there's two possibilities which I really do think price could go to. Um, bear with me. I'm pretty sure I know where that is. I'm looking for the arrow just in case you guys. Okay, so at this area, I do think price could go up, take the top liquidity here at this level. Okay, um, or it literally could break down the trend line. So this is my two ways that price could go because this is an FP week. It is pretty much a very very volatile and also a market conditions that you can't really predict. Okay, but I do personally feel like price is trying to push up. I'm gonna look at the 2 hour. Yeah, right. So price did come down. It took this low, took this out. Yeah, I do personally think there is liquidity to be grabbed at the top. There's a lot of liquidity, and I do really think price is will push up. That's my take, guys. So you guys roughly can see where price is at the moment, and I really do think price will it's we do need to see a proper structure break. So I want to kind of see this being taken out to the upside, come back down for a retest, and then probably I would go on a buy. That's my take. So if you can see here, it formed like several lows here, like on the down. So I would actually want to see this structure break happen at this level on a 4 hour, and if it does close above this level here, 200, let's just put it as 300. So 300. I would probably think price could be going to the upside, guys. So, but anyway, let's just keep an eye on this. Mm, but just on a trend basis, right? If you just on, you can see that on the 4 hour, we are on a downtrend. However, on a daily, I'm pretty sure we are on an uptrend. It's rejected this, and we can see that price rejected here, did push through this, came down to the trend line, rejected the trend line, touched the trend line rather, and then it did push up here and is teetering around the trend line of 200 moving average here on the daily. So really it's just a case of even this, like if you can see yesterday's one, it closed above and it rejected it, came down, took this out. I do believe price is going to go up. Okay, so let's just see what price does. Right, but if we do see a push down and close below the trend line now, it's probably then going to go downwards, to be honest, guys. So if I see a push down below 32,600, yeah, 32,600, I would be, or maybe even 32,700, I would possibly be looking for sells. So let's just see which direction price does. Like I said, I most likely will not be trading today just because I think price is really messy. Um, and there's really no clear direction if you were to ask me. So I will just wait to see what price. I personally like to trade nice trend breakouts and nice trend lines, like this, for example. If you will drop it down to 15 minutes, if I were to off my half trend and off my health rate, just by looking at this, you can see a trend is from like this is crossed, it's going to go down. This would have been a trade that I would have taken here, and I would have caught this. Do you guys see this? Like, it's very clean. Like, I don't need to overthink it, and I would have probably taken it just up to this. It kind of took out liquidity and went right back up. You guys see that this is sort of 15 minutes. So I would have gone for this low. My entry, don't even need my pin buy indicator. My entry would have been here, maybe even this. But let's say I got in here. Okay. My stop loss would have been above the 10, I mean the 21, and I would have taken it to this. This was giving you 1 is to 3, not even 1.5, guys. 33 pips stop loss and 102 pips. Like, this is an insane trade. Do you guys see this? Like, and I would have liked to trade this as well. I like trading off 200 moving averages, even though this might not have given us, because it was a huge move. This could have been a move, but this would have given us quite a bit of like a drawdown. So I would have put it above this. So this is like 135 pips. Okay, and then because of the huge stop loss, it's hard to hit. Do you see this? Like, it's hit 1 is to 1. Like, it hasn't really hit the 1.5 yet, if that makes sense, because the stop loss is bigger. So I like small moves like that, which gives you nice smaller stop losses, and then it's easier to catch the move, if that makes sense, guys. So I do like trading with trends like that because it's very smooth. So this is obviously a downtrend, so I'm only looking for sells. Like, this is insane drop. Look at this. Like, there's so many. Like, if I were to on my pin bar, I'm gonna get rid of this. But you guys already know my pin bar strategy if you watch my earlier videos. Um, oh, I don't know what I did now. What? Okay, there we go. Okay, this disappeared for a while. I was gonna show you guys. Where's my pin bar? Is it gone? Okay, let's put it back on before I call this a session. Pimba, and I just want to get rid of this. I don't want this. Where it prints the thing just looks very messy. But anyway, like, you guys can see. Do you guys see this? Like, all this. So I'm looking only for cells. It's quite straightforward. Like, there's no brainer here. Like, all the way from this point, I'm literally looking for cells. In fact, I would have gone in here, okay, because it's a 200 moving average. Here is another one, but this dropped all the way down, so possibly no. But even then, it was a win. I would have gone here. I like to on my smart money concept, guys, so that's important to me. Like, can you see this? It came down to touch this because of the previous low. It broke. It took liquidity out here. Like, it's kind of nice when you have this because you can actually see very clearly. So you have a breaker structure, and it took, look at this. So all the previous ones, can you see it took swept all the liquidity? But we've got liquidity here to be clear. Like, this was the liquidity that it took for the previous two highs here. All right, and it came right back down. So this would be an entry, possibly, that this rejection of the 200, but then it didn't print any bearish pin bars. But I could have entered here just on my own, and then I would have just waited it out. Like, this was a pin bar, you could have gone in here. This was rejecting off the 50 moving average, and I would have kept my stop loss here. So if it goes above this and closes above my 200, we are not getting any more sell signals. This would have been, no, this is not really a rejection. So let me see. This would have been an entry. This could have possibly stopped me out just because of this. I could have put it here, so it would have been so close. Okay, but it gave a nice drop. This is another rejection of the 21. Do you guys see this? This is another one. But this one is a tough one because I would have lost this because I would have put it here. So, oh no, maybe not. Yeah, so it came very close to stop loss, but it gave us a drop. But it's been an equal one, and it came down. Can you see this? So this was one touch point. It was equalizing here. This is almost an equal, like a equal base. And then it came down, swept liquidity off this trend line, and it went right back up. This was a liquidity here. liquidity here. This was a previous one that is swept for this, but this was a previous high. This was the next high that swept all the previous buy side liquidity here, and then now it's just teetering. But you can see this is like almost equalizing again. Okay, can you see this, guys? Here, okay, this is that, and then it flew right back up, took all this liquidity, and now it's teetering up there. So it's just following the pattern, guys. That's all. And really, so this is a buy signal here right now. Could have bought this. Do you guys see where I'm going? So this is like an equal thing here. Came down, swept liquidity, went up, but did not sweep really any liquidity to the buy side. That's what I keep saying. Like, I do really think that is potential to the buys eventually, but the question really is when is it getting ready? So right now it's swept. It's come down. This was an equal one, came down, swept liquidity here. It's on the buy or going up, but again, it hasn't moved to the buy trend yet. So I'm not even going to think about buys at all if I were to trade this method. But look, there's so many opportunities that you could have grabbed. This was one. Okay, this is a bit risky because all the moving averages are not lined up by 10, 21, 50, and 200, guys. Okay, so that's the reason. And if you guys can see, you could have said this is a trade up. Why not take this for a buy? Because it kind of rejected the 200 because you can see this is happening. All right, this is not fanning out the way it should be, guys. So obviously then we know we're coming for a drop. Well, not that obvious when I took the trade yesterday because I did not put this on. But yeah, okay. So I kind of like this just because this method is a lot more simpler. It's very clear to the eyes. It's very neat as well. Like you've only got smart money concept. You know where the buy zones are. You know where the sell zones are. You know what the trend is, and you just trade with the trend, guys. Okay. So, but anyway, see you guys in another video. We'll see what happens with today. Um, because there are red folders for the rest of the week. So please trade very, very carefully, and see you guys back again with another video.